For those of you that are less familiar with Proxio, Proxio has the world's largest agent network, over 600,000 agents from well over 120 countries, with over 3 million properties in 95 countries. Proxio Pro, our other service, operates in 19 languages and converts between metric and English measures, as well as 55 different currencies. As far as tools available on that platform, we have websites, Facebook applications, and portal syndication, just to name a few. Proxio Pro links agents and brokerages worldwide and provides global property exposure by working somewhat like a LinkedIn for realtors, where listings are also syndicated to other consumer-facing sites. And you get real-time notifications on that platform as well. Like I said, the platform does operate and translate between 19 languages, and allows you to create and send marketing flyers in any of those languages to help serve the multicultural buyers that are quickly becoming the norm. And now we have Proxio Developer Showcase, which we'll be covering today, the web-based marketing system that helps agents to market and sell beautiful developments all over the world. And it is a revolutionary new platform, a powerful marketing system for developers and builders that leverages our very large agent pool as a new marketing channel for builders. And as Keller Williams GPS members, you guys are getting a preview before we release it to our entire network. It really does help solve problems for all parties involved by efficiently linking up supply and demand in the sales and marketing of these developments. And of course, for agents, it opens new commission opportunities and allows you to very easily increase your inventory. These developers are offering big commissions, and agents can very easily participate and potentially qualify for those by referring their clients. U.S. Baby boomers are retiring and want to buy retirement homes in fun and interesting locations. So luxury properties are especially attractive for that reason as well. And many agents these days have connections back home in other countries, some of which are politically stressed, such as Venezuela, parts of Eastern Europe, and China as well, which they can leverage using this platform. And of course, the platform does help deliver faster sales. We have more agents selling these projects and more buyers seeing them from different areas of the world. The websites are very high quality with great literature, and this does allow for international buyer exposure. The website is also supported on phones, tablets, and computers alike. It is responsively designed, so the pages automatically resize to fit the window that they're being displayed on. So whether you're searching on a computer or a tablet or just a smartphone, the website will look great. And we'll take a look at that during the demonstration and exactly what that looks like. We also have more accurate representation of the projects. It helps maintain the image of the development that the developer or marketing company is really going for. And on top of that, all of the information stays current. So anytime that info is updated, it's reflected system-wide within less than a minute. So you don't have to worry about old, outdated literature and Dropbox accounts and that sort of thing, because it's all in one place. And it is a very simple to use platform as well. The developer uploads photos or renderings, or at least architectural drawings, in high resolution. And then they upload information about the development, so description, amenities, features, that sort of thing. And then the optional portions are things like agent terms, videos, and just about every development is going to have floor plans as well. And on top of that, for any information that isn't available, there is developer contact info available to agents. It's not going to be available to buyers. They won't be able to contact the development company. but it will be available to you as agents. And you also have a custom profile created for every development. So as you can see here, it's a very clean, professional-looking web page for the project. With a photo gallery there, we have detailed information as well as videos whenever developers do have those and choose to upload them. And these very nice looking websites are generated automatically for the developments and will have the agent's branding on them, at least for the public view of the development that any consumers might see. And we'll get into that distinction during the demonstration as well. And we have a question about what would stop clients from Googling the developer after viewing the site and going direct. That is a little bit of a concern sometimes, as you can imagine, but we really do our best to drive all the traffic through the agents here so that they can't just get a hold of the developer. On top of that, it's not necessarily the developers themselves that are putting this information onto the Showcase platform. Oftentimes it's marketing companies and that sort of thing, and they'll be representing a lot of developments. And it actually, in that case, can be very difficult for buyers to get in touch with the right person from the development to sidestep the agent in the process. So generally, everything will remain going through this platform. And you'll see exactly how that plays out a little later during this presentation and during the demonstration. But while that does sound simple about just being able to Google the developer and that sort of thing, in practice it's actually a little bit more difficult than it sounds. And as a result, most buyers aren't going to be going after that. That is a good question, though. That is a concern that we had developing this platform as well. In any case, the developer showcase product here allows you to automatically create marketing pieces that are branded for you specifically. So it's going to have the most recent information about the development, as well as those high-resolution pictures or renderings. And then it will have your name and contact information on the marketing material. So it's customized for any broker or agent that generates this material. And like I said, it's automatically created from information that is already on the system. And we have a question about bringing developers to Proxio that we don't have signed up. And the answer is you can do that. We do have a referral program in place. So if you happen to know of developers that should be on the system but are not, you can send the information to Matias@Proxio.com. That's Matias. He is our account manager for developments. And the two of you can work out contacting the developer and any sort of referral fees to be put in place. And we are constantly on the lookout for more developments to add to the system. In any case, for the marketing material here, like I said, it is the automatically generated pieces that just take a couple of clicks to make, and you can save them and send them off or print them. You can email them to clients, and any changes are instantly visible so that these representations are always up to date and accurate. And on top of that, there is a very nice website for every agent that is on the system. So here you see one of the examples. So it'll have your profile picture and contact information, and then it will also contain all of the projects that you're following on Proxio Showcase. So it's your very own developer showcase. Then any of those projects that a client clicks on, they'll see all of the most current information about that project along with your contact information. And again, this is something that we'll look at in the demonstration in just a few moments here. And like I briefly mentioned, this does look good on any device, and as a result, we actually don't need a mobile application for it. You can just use the website on a tablet or smartphone or computer for that matter, of course. And we have a couple of questions here that I'll tackle really quickly. Keep in mind that we will have some time for Q&A at the end. So if you can, go ahead and save those questions until afterward. But if it's something relatively quick and particularly relevant, then I can get to those throughout the presentation. But in the interest of saving time, if you can, please wait till the end. We have a question about whether or not you have to be the listing agent to advertise a development. Actually, that's the beauty of this platform, is you don't necessarily have to be the listing agent for that development. The marketing companies and developers are putting their information on here so that as many agents as possible from the Proxio network can represent their projects to buyers, and as a result, they'll experience faster sales and have commissions made available to more agents. And we have another question here about having an account in Proxio as a Keller Williams GPS agent. And actually, we will get into that in just a moment. That's actually how you get into the Developer Showcase platform in the first case. So just hang tight and you'll see the answer to that question very soon. And we have another question about linking to websites. We are in the process of developing a way to frame it into an existing website so that it becomes something like a tab on your personal website or something like that. But currently we do have a few different ways of linking to the website at the very least. So we have a couple of HTML buttons and that kind of thing. And you'll see all of that during the demonstration in just a moment. So, in any case, here we have the lead dashboard. So we do actually have an administrative tool for tracking leads here. So it makes it very easy to market these developments, sending emails, marketing pieces, and that sort of thing. And tracking leads is just as easy. So developers will see your progress in terms of registering leads. However, there is protection for those leads that you generate. So they will be able to see that you have registered a lead, and they'll be able to see the name of the lead that came in. This is the developers that will be able to see that. However, they will not be able to see any contact information for that lead. That stays only with you as an agent. So anybody that you register, it will be up to you to kind of be the go-between between them and the developer or marketing company. So they will not be able to contact these leads without going through you first, and vice versa. And we have another question. The Proxio agents will represent only their buyers, correct? Yes, that is correct. So you represent the buyer to the developer, and to a certain extent, you also represent the development a little bit, not in quite the same official sense, but in terms of where the buyer is getting their information, they'll be getting it all from you. So anything that they need to know about the development that isn't readily available on the platform, it will be up to you to get in touch with the developer and let them know that you have an interested client and that you need, X, Y, and Z information points. So that's the lead tracking dashboard, and we'll take a closer look at that during the demonstration here in a moment. And as you can imagine here, there is a heck of a network effect here. So the fact that clients can come and look at these developments and these very nice looking websites with the high resolution photos and renderings means that they'll want to share them with other people. And because everything that you'll be sending out to clients will be branded specifically for you, that's your name on that development getting out to more and more people. So all of those leads are going to end up coming back to you for any given project. And in terms of setting up the website, it is extremely easy to do. You don't need any sort of technology expertise or anything. You just fill in your profile and click to follow any projects that you want to represent. And everything is automatic. You don't have to know any sort of coding or anything like that. No special technology skills. It's all very straightforward. And the key here is that by providing the global connections between supply and demand, the Developer Showcase platform is able to accelerate sales of developments, meaning they're selling those units much faster than previously, and commissions are also made available to a lot more agents than before. And we have a question about following developments and that sort of thing in terms of how it's done in the platform. And basically, you do just kind of browse through, find the developments that look interesting to you, and choose to follow as many as you reasonably can. And again, that's another thing that we'll be looking at in the demonstration in just a moment here. So to log into the platform, you will first want to log into Proxio Pro. That's the other service that we run, the sort of a LinkedIn for realtors. And as a Keller Williams GPS agent, you will have early access to the Developer Showcase platform. So you'll want to go to proxioworld.com/kwgps, and that will allow you to log in. If you're not really sure about how to do that, we do have a link just below the login button there that will give you an instructional PDF on how to get into the system. And we have a question about the number of developments currently registered in the Proxio system, and that's actually something we'll be able to see during the demonstration here. That will come up in just a moment. So again, proxioworld.com/kwgps if you're logging into Proxio for the first time. If you have logged into Proxio Pro before, you can just go to proxiopro.com and enter your username and password there. And once you are in Proxio Pro, you'll see on your home page, which I believe will look a little bit different, as Keller Williams GPS agents do have a different interface with Proxio Pro. But you'll still have the Proxio Developer Showcase button, and you just click on that and it brings you right into the platform. You'll automatically be signed in, so once you've signed into Proxio Pro, you won't have to sign in again or anything like that. And it looks like we have another question here. When you bring a developer to the platform, who do you negotiate a referral fee with? You would negotiate that with Matthias, our account manager, and he is reachable at matthias@proxio.com, Matias. As far as a referral fee from the developer, I believe that has more to do with the policies of the individual developers and marketing companies. So for the potential of that, I would say contact the developers. Unfortunately, we can't always speak on behalf of the developers since we have multiple companies that we work with here, and they certainly do business differently from one another in many cases. So that would be something that you would definitely want to check with any developers that you might be referring to the system. In any case, very easy to get into Developer Showcase. Just log into Proxio Pro and click on the button. And once you're in the Showcase platform, you'll first be prompted to follow a few projects, and you will have to follow at least one to bypass the screen. And we recommend following as many as you reasonably can. I mean, there's no reason that you shouldn't be representing these projects when all you have to do to represent them is click. And the next thing you'll do is fill out your profile. You'll want to make sure that all of your contact information and everything is accurate, and you'll certainly want to upload a profile picture, as that makes people more likely to come and spend time on your Showcase profile. So the profile picture is very important. And with that, we reach the end of the PowerPoint, so we'll jump into the live demonstration here. This is the instructional PDF on accessing Proxio Developer Showcase through Keller Williams Global Property Specialists. And we have another question. Do you have to be licensed in state and countries to represent buyers? Not necessarily. That's again another one that you'd want to talk to the developers about. Generally, it shouldn't be an issue, though, as long as you are licensed in the U.S. and can perform real estate transactions, you should be okay. At the very least, you can use this to get some referral fees, and beyond that, some commissions and that sort of thing, just depending on how heavily involved you are in the process. And of course, that part will be up to you. In any case, these are the instructions for accessing Proxio Pro from Keller Williams GPS. And if you go to proxioworld.com/kwgps, you will see a link to that just below the login button. We have a question about Keller Williams E&O Insurance. I'm actually unfamiliar with that program, so you'd want to check that with somebody at Keller Williams, I would imagine. Keep in mind that this is just the marketing platform. This doesn't include things like contracts and that sort of thing, although sometimes you might be able to find the reservation agreements on the developer page, or development page, I should say, and that sort of thing. But in and of itself, it is just the marketing platform for this, for these developments. So I can't speak as to whether or not the liability coverage will cover overseas transactions and that sort of thing. I'm unfamiliar with that part of Keller Williams. So all we really do is the marketing platform here. So here we are in Proxio Showcase on the home page, as my account is already set up. So I'll be able to I won't be able to show you those first two screens for when you first enter the platform that we saw in the PowerPoint there. But those two are pretty straightforward too. And we'll go through the home page in just a moment. The first thing I'll show you is editing your profile. So on the right side of the screen, right above featured projects, we have the edit profile link. We'll click there. And we have a question about projects in Texas. I don't believe we have any projects in Texas just yet. We are, like I said, constantly looking for more developments to put on the system. So if you would like to refer some to us, you can send the information to Matthias@proxio.com, like I said before. All right, so here we are in the edit profile screen. And you want to make sure that all of the information is being displayed accurately. So your first and last name and everything. Your public URL is going to be the ending for the URL that you'll be sending out to clients, so that they can see your profile and all the developments that you're following. So you can change that if you would like to. It should automatically pick up your email address without the domain name. And if that's all right with you, then you can keep it at that. But if you do want to change it, you can. Keep in mind that you can only do that once, though. So once you have changed it, that will be it for you. We have a question about following projects in the area where you work versus following them anywhere. Well, in terms of projects in your area, there's a good chance that you won't have a hard time representing those as it is. Since they're around you, that's the sort of thing that you can just kind of jump into. However, projects in another area, because they're so far away and that kind of thing, that's going to be a little harder for you to represent without a platform like this. So this way you can cover a few different scenarios that you otherwise might have to refer to another agent. So if you have a client that's looking for, say, a vacation property or something in another state, that can be a little bit difficult for you to broker yourself. That's going to be hard for you to make that deal, since you're so far away from it. However, with this platform, you can directly represent the development to your client, despite them being, maybe halfway across the country or even further away. So the idea here is to follow projects in as many places as possible, so that you really do have more global reach than you might otherwise. And we have a question about the checklist of information that you would need to send the developer. That's something that we usually cover after contacting the developer. So we do have a checklist for them, but that's something that we'll send off to the developer if we can arrange an agreement with them. So the first step there is referring the developer, and we kind of take it from there after putting into place any sort of referral fees, like I said. In any case, here we are back to editing the profile. You'll want to make sure that the contact email, telephone number, agency name, and license number are all filled out and accurately. You can enter in a slogan for yourself and a little About Me section for your profile. Then you'll want to enter your location. Here we are in Santa Clara. That's where we're located in California. Then you'll want to enter any languages that you speak and any specialties you might have. So you can check a whole bunch of these or just a few, whatever applies to you. And we have a question here about what agents are doing to market themselves as being the go-to for projects in a large region but out of area. That is actually up to you. There are a lot of different ways that you can market yourself for things like that. We have had some agents have pretty big success with Google AdWords, with taking out some ads for that. So for things like high-rise developments and that sort of thing, they'll show up as a sponsored link, and we've had some agents find success with that and generate some leads. So it really is wide open in terms of how you can market it, and it's really up to your imagination in terms of that. So down at the bottom here of the edit profile page, we have space for some social networking links and your personal website as well. So you want to enter that in. And then all of the information here that you've entered, you just click Save, and it will push through to your profile. And we're getting a lot of questions here. Please keep in mind that in the interest of time, we are going to have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So just in order to try to get through this a little bit more quickly, if you can, please hold those questions till the end. In the meantime, you might even find some of those questions being answered. So here we have the profile information that I've entered, as well as the projects that I'm following. This is almost what your public profile will look like. We have the link to that right here. So we'll take a quick look at that before exploring that a little bit more in depth a little later in the demonstration. But here's the public profile. So you can see we have my profile picture and the contact info and the developments I'm following, as well as properties. And this is going to be a property search tab. This is specifically a Miami account. That was where we originally launched this product. So we're seeing Miami properties here. But you guys will have all of the Keller Williams properties on here. And all of the properties on Proxio, I should say, are searchable here. So just another way that you might even be able to drum up some referral fees from this portion of the profile. And then the third tab is going to be the About Me section with my specialties and languages and the description there and location. So there's just a quick view of the public profile. And we'll head back to the home screen now and start taking a look at these tabs here. So the first tab is going to be the news feed. And that's where you're going to see some updates from the projects that you're following. So any events that they're having, or if they're entering a new selling phase or something like that, maybe if there's updates on how much inventory is left in a particular project, they'll enter that there. So it functions kind of like a Twitter or Facebook news feed, but specifically for those developments. And we have a question about why the list of countries is so short in the property search. Currently, we have the property search representing U.S. Properties mainly. So we'll probably add some more countries a little later on, but for now we're focusing on properties in the U.S. And nearby in the property search. And keep in mind that this is still a relatively new platform, and as a result, we will be adding functionality and expanding certain features in here. So keep an eye out for any new things that might be showing up in the Proxio Developer Showcase platform. In any case, that's the news feed there. That's where you'll see updates, sometimes even commission updates and that sort of thing. For different phases, sometimes they'll offer different commission percentages and that kind of thing. So now we'll take a look at managing projects. And this is where you'll see a list of the projects that you're currently following on the system. And you can sort them so that they show up in a different order in your profile. If you'd like to feature one ahead of others or something like that. Maybe if I wanted to move one ocean up a little higher or something like that, and maybe move Cassia down a couple. You kind of get the idea, though. You kind of just click and drag until they're in the order that you'd like to see, and then you click Finish to save that order, and that's how they will then show up on your profile. You can also go to Edit Projects, where you can unfollow some of these. So if you'd like to pull any off your profile, maybe they're sold out or something like that, you can just click on Unfollow, and it removes it. So we'll take off just a few to demonstrate here. And you can even go crazy if you want. It's just one click to follow or unfollow a development. In terms of finding other developments to follow, you can click on Follow More Projects on the left side here, or you can click on Project Search in the top left corner of the screen. Either way will take you to the same page. So you can search by category or perform a text search, or we have a link for all projects right here under the search button on the right side of the screen. So we'll take a look at all of the projects on the system currently. And I am already following a good number of them. You'll see here we have some of the ones that I was following but clicked unfollow. So now I have the option to add them back to my profile. And if you want to take a closer look at one of these developments, you just click on the orange circle with the arrow in it, and it will take you to the agent view page for that project. So we call this the agent view because it is visible only to agents and brokers on the system. This will not be visible to clients that come to look at the developments, potential buyers and that sort of thing. So we just click follow this project. It'll add it to our profile. And now we also have a public URL for it. So this is the URL that I would want to send to a client to show them this development. So when I click on that, we'll see the public view of the development. So you see that it has my contact information here. We don't have quite as many tabs available, and we have a lead capture form as well. So of course, anyone that fills this out will be registered as one of your leads. But we'll head back to the agent view since we have a little bit more information available there. So the first tab is going to be the description, and that's visible to the public as well because that's just the general information about the development, as well as the location. Then we have marketing. That's another one that's visible to the public. Here you see we have a description and marketing, so they can create those marketing materials themselves if they would like, or even send them off to friends. So if you click on send, it will automatically attach the corresponding marketing piece to an email, and you can just enter some email addresses here and the subject and message. We have another question here. Can this include custom builders and specs, or is it only actual developments? It can include customization and that sort of thing, and that's usually just going to be specified in the description of the development. So we actually do have quite a few projects that haven't started construction just yet, and that sort of thing. And we have a question about some of the developments in Mexico having a cancel subscription request button, unlike the US developments. And that's another feature of the system. Developers can choose to make their developments private or public. The public ones, you'll just have to click follow, and it'll be added to your profile. With a private development, it will require developer or marketing company approval for you to join that. So currently all of the Mexico developments on the system do require approval. I would keep an eye on that, though, as they may be changing that in the near future. For the most part, developments are going to be public developments because they're going to want as many people as possible representing them in order to attract as many buyers as they can. But they do have that option to keep it a little more proprietary if they would like to. So here we'll take a look at these marketing materials. Like I said during the PowerPoint section, these are automatically generated, and they have the most current information from the development as well as those high-resolution pictures. So here we have one for SLS Hotel and Residences, and you can see that down at the bottom we have my contact info here, including the URL for this project. You can see it's proxioshowcase.com/subscriptions, and then a number. And that means that anyone that takes that URL, that follows it to the web page, will see this public view with my contact information, because this is the brochure that's branded specifically for me. But you can see we have these nice looking pictures, and we overlay the description text right on top there. And as a result, we have a very good-looking marketing piece to send out to clients. And then the very last page is going to be devoted entirely to the agent contact info. So if you want to get a hold of the agent or take a look at their public profile or something like that, we actually have that link there as well, including all the specialties and languages and that kind of thing too. So this is a PDF document, and like I said, all of this marketing material is automatically created in a matter of seconds, unless you have a slow internet connection, of course. And you can save this and edit it and send it out, or you can print it, whatever you need to do. Very, very simple. We also have the flyer here, which has just as much information but in a more compact format. We have the same description and features and amenities, as well as the agent contact info, but just with one picture. So if the development has more description, then it might push onto 2 pages or something like that, but most of them are going to stick to 1 page here. And again, this is another PDF that you can save or print, whatever you need to do. All right, so that's the marketing material. Very easy to create and send. The next tab is going to be videos. So this particular development does have video, and these are just going to be Vimeo or YouTube videos that are embedded on the page, and they'll be available to clients and agents alike. And the last tab that clients can see is the floor plans, and these are generally going to be PDFs as well. Some developments might include all of the floor plans that they have available. Other ones will only have a selection. But either way, it's a good representation of what the development has to offer in terms of sizes, square footage, number of rooms, and that sort of thing. So that is the public view of a development, and also customers have the option to change the language. We can translate here. So if we switch over to Spanish, we will see everything in Spanish here. So the descriptions and everything, tab titles and that kind of thing, even the lead registration form, all showing up in Spanish now. And then if a client clicks on home, it will take them back to your public profile, or in this case, my public profile, since we're looking at my account here. And then any of these developments that they click on will show up with my contact information. And we have a question about reposting the videos on your YouTube channels. You can do that. I don't think any developers would take much issue with that, as they are designed for marketing and to get as many people as possible watching them. So you can certainly take those and repost them. About editing them or anything like that, though, that might catch the ire of the developers potentially. In any case, we're back to the agent view here. So we have the developer contact info. Like I said, that won't be available to clients. But if you need to get a hold of them for something, whether it's for more information or letting them know that you have someone ready to move forward or just wants to schedule a tour, whatever it may be, you can get a hold of them there, or type a message into the message box here, and it will send that to the developer as well. The other tabs we have available here are things like documents. So this one has a brochure that's pre-formatted. So this one won't be branded for you. It's not one of the automatically generated ones. Other things you'll see on documents are things like price lists, maybe reservation agreements, commission breakdowns, and that sort of thing. It's really up to the developer as to what they want to upload. So we encourage them to add as much information as they're comfortable sharing, but sometimes you will have to give them a call to figure out commissions and pricing and that sort of thing. And we have a question about changing the order of the properties, and that was actually covered just a moment ago on the home page. We can take another quick look at that in a moment. First, I just want to get through the rest of these tabs here. You do have the option for a closer look at the images for the project. So you can click on those and get a larger view outside of the marquee that we have at the top of the page. Then we have videos and plans, which we already saw on the public view. Then we have records and terms. These are another couple of tabs that are only available to agents. Records is where you can add your own lead. So if you have a lead for this project from outside the system, you can register them here. And terms is going to have any disclaimers, some terms and conditions. Some developers might see fit to put commission terms and that sort of thing here. But a lot of it's going to be relatively generic information. Still worth checking, though, just in case it has some information pertinent to your interests. So that is the agent view. And keep in mind that any project that you're following, the agent view page will have the public URL in case you need to send that out to somebody. So we'll head back to the home page and take a quick look at reorganizing the projects. So you go to the Manage Projects tab on the home page and click on Sort Subscriptions. That's the option right there in the middle. And you just click and drag to move the projects around into different positions. And then once you have it set where you would like it, you click on Finish, and it will save that order so that they show up in that way on your profile. So very easy to reorganize those that way. Another thing you'll notice here is we have that public profile URL in a few places on the system. This is the main one you'll want to send out to clients so that they can see your contact information with all of the developments you're following, and then any of those that they take a closer look at will still have your branding. So you'll want to keep that in mind. That's the URL you want to be sending out. The next tab we have here is the Sales Kit. This is another option for our automatically generated marketing material. And this is how you can send information on multiple developments at the same time in one file. So we'll select the developments we'd like to include. Let's say the Bond and One Ocean. And how about Brickell Heights here? So you can select as many or as few as you want. And of course, the more developments you choose here, the longer that marketing piece is going to be. But we can send the projects, and it'll come up with another email form here, so we can enter in some email addresses and send information about these 3 projects, or however many we've selected. Or we can click on Print, and it'll allow us to generate that PDF that was attached to the email that we just saw on that form. And like I said, this is another automatically generated one, so it'll have the most up-to-date information. And we'll have 2 pages on each development that we selected. So first we have a nice big picture for One Ocean, and then a smaller picture with a description. And you'll notice that on these 2 pages for this particular development, we have the URL for this one project. So proxioshowcase.com/subscriptions/10055, where your number will be different since this is the URL to get to the one with my branding. And then we have that right there. Then we have the next project. So we have the large picture there, and you'll notice that the URL is slightly different. since we want to direct to Brickell Heights with this one instead of One Ocean. Then we have the description for that, and then the third project with a third URL down there. And then the last page is going to be devoted to your contact information, much like the last page of the brochure. So this is another one that's very easy to create. Just select the developments that you'd like to include and generate it. Then you can save it and edit it, send it off to people, or print it. So that's the sales kit there. And of course we can change the developments that we're including just by Xing out of those or clicking delete on the left side and then selecting other developments instead. The next tab here is leads, and this is where we're going to see any leads that we've registered here. So like I said, you'll have the name of the lead, the project that they've registered for, and the contact information for them, as well as the status of the lead, whether it's pending, approved, or rejected by the developer. And you can organize by project through these here. So you can look at leads for just one particular project if you'd like, or by status, whether they're any of these three or all of them. And here, these are actually just test leads. So we have 2 that were rejected here and a couple pending. Then you can also export a list of them as a spreadsheet file, CSV or XLS, and that will allow you to kind of keep track of the leads offline as well, or make your own notes about them, whatever you would like to do. So very easy to track your leads and make notes about them and that sort of thing. The last tab we have here is Tools, and this is where you will go to share your public profile with our little link buttons here. So you can embed this on your website. We have the pre-formatted HTML code for each. We have a larger button and a smaller one. And so you can just put that into your website yourself or hand it off to your webmaster or whoever administers your website. And that will embed the corresponding button onto the site and allow customers to jump to your public profile that way. So you can see the link that we're routing to here is proxioshowcase.com/px/your username or custom URL. In my case, it's Braden-Proxio. We have a question about customizing the URL. There are actually a couple options for that. Like we saw in the edit profile screen, we have the option to change that at least once. And if you have another domain or something like that, you can actually have that domain forward to your public profile. So when people navigate to, say, SusanHighriseAgent.com, you can have that automatically forward to your Proxio Showcase public profile to this URL here. So that's another option that we have a number of customers using now, or rather agents, I should say. We have a question about embedding on multiple websites. You can add the button, that link button to your public profile to as many websites as you would like. That's just, basically an HTML link button. So you can embed that anywhere that you want to, and no matter what, it will feed back into your profile. So it doesn't matter how many places it sits in, it's always going to come right back to your profile. It's not like you can only have one that's live. So that's another good way to market it is really just get that link and the link button out to as many people as possible. And we have a question about running scripts once contact is made from a potential buyer. And we don't really have anything hard in place for that now. I believe that's something that you can set up on your own, though, if you would like. And a question about recommended referral percentages for international markets. We we aren't really as much in a position to do that as we are just the marketing platform. So that really is up to the developers as to what sort of commissions they're going to be offering, or referral fees for that matter. So that's something that you'll want to check with developers specifically. So that just about covers it now that we've gotten through the homepage tabs here, as well as following and marketing these projects and what's available. And actually, I do still need to show you the responsive design of this website. So as you can see, we have the normal computer view here. We have a nice wide screen. But if we were browsing on, say, a tablet, the screen would probably be about this size. And as you can see, the page here is automatically resizing as we make the window smaller instead of having to scroll back and forth all over the place and that kind of thing. And if we are browsing on a smartphone, it would probably be about this size. And here we still have a very easy to view page here. Sorry about the jumps and scrolling here. I think my mouse is starting to die a little bit or something like that. But in any case, the pages do automatically resize, so it doesn't get too difficult to manage on a smaller screen. And like I mentioned briefly before, that does negate the need for a mobile application for this. So that just about does it for our demonstration here. And I think we have a couple other questions here. We have a question about whether there are tutorials or videos. We're actually recording this webinar right now, so this will be hosted very soon in a place where you can rewatch it at your leisure. And we will have a user guide available as well. So if you'd like that, you can shoot me an email at braden@proxio.com. That's BRADEN. And I'll be happy to send you the user guide or a copy of the PowerPoint, or answer any other questions that you might have. But at the very least, you'll be able to rewatch this training webinar here in its entirety. Looks like we have another question about how to complete the deal if you're not licensed in the state where the project is, or does another agent handle the sale and you get a referral fee? So those are actually both options. So there are sometimes that you can still handle the transaction despite being licensed in a different state, and other times you may have to pass it off to another agent. So that's something that you'll want to work out with the developer. So you'll want to check in with them because they'll have kind of the best practices for that in place already. We have a question about what our criteria are for adding new developments, like I said, for local projects. We actually have pretty wide open criteria. We'll take just about any development that is willing to work with us, and we will add them to the system. And we have another question about the newsfeed streaming on the public side. Currently, that's available only to agents. In the future, we may implement something of a newsfeed for customers as well. But right now, we keep it only for agents because a fair amount of these updates are pertinent only to agents. It might have things regarding commissions and that kind of thing, and you won't necessarily want clients seeing all of that. We have a question about whether or not developers provide for registration of buyers. Well, in terms of what's on the platform, the only buyer registration that we have is registering as a lead. From there, it really is in your hands to kind of carry through the rest of the transaction. You'll want to keep in mind that registering a lead doesn't automatically qualify you for a commission. I mean, really, it probably doesn't in most cases in the real estate world. So you will still have to do, the due diligence and carry out the steps of a normal real estate transaction. And we have a question about price here. This is free to members of Proxio Pro, and as Keller Williams agents, you all have Proxio Pro profiles already set up. So all you have to do is log in and jump over to the Developer Showcase platform and start following developments. There is no extra charge for it. We have another question about cost. Like I said, it is free. And we have a question about whether this is for new or established projects, and the answer is both. We can include projects that are already existing that still have room to be sold, as well as things that still haven't started construction. We have both of those currently on the system, and we're happy to include any of those for future developments we're adding. Do we have materials you can use to approach developers? Generally, you'll just want to be armed with knowledge about the development that you are going to be talking to them about. So just make sure that you've read through the description, the location and everything. Probably take a look at some floor plans. If they have a price list, you'll want to be up to date on that. So make sure you check through the Documents tab if they've uploaded any documents on the development. And just make sure that you know things about the development if you have any specific questions for them. That's the best we can offer there because it is up to the developer as to how much information we include on the system. We have a question about the easiest way to go to Proxio Pro KWGPS without going through the Keller Williams website. If you have logged into Proxio Pro before, you can just go to proxiopro.com and enter your username and password. That tends to be the fastest way, at least if you've been on Proxio Pro before. Or you can go to proxioworld.com/KWGPS and you can get your login instructions there. And those are really the two ways of getting into Proxio Pro, or the two main ways, I should say. We have a question about the fee to developers, and that is actually something that's worked out on a case-by-case basis. It depends on the nature of the development and exactly how they're going to be marketing it, how much is available, and that sort of thing, and whether or not there are multiple developments from one company that we'll be dealing with. We have a question about, is this like when you, this is not like when you refer a buyer to a local new construction where they take the client once they're registered. That's correct. It will be on you to carry through the steps of the process in order to qualify for commission. So you're not necessarily just going to be handing them off to the developer, although you can do that if you would like, and generally get a referral fee that way. But usually it's going to be you taking all the steps of the process and working through it with the developer and the buyer. We have a question about whether there's a fee to add a developer. We can get a referral fee in place if you can bring us a developer or something like that. But in terms of a fee to you for adding a development to the system, that is not the case. We have questions about projects in the Caribbean. We don't currently have any projects in the Caribbean. However, like I have mentioned a couple times, we are constantly on the lookout for more developments all over the world. So if you happen to know of any and you would like to refer any, we'd be glad to get in touch with them. In terms of agency law, do we know if the agents will be representing the developer? Not necessarily. That's another one that you'll, if there is any concern about that, you'll want to talk about that with the developer. But that may not always be the case. But it also may sometimes be the case. You'll want to talk with the developer exactly about their sales process and how all that goes. At least if you register a lead and have people moving forward and that kind of thing. We have a question about contacting me. Braden@proxio.com is my email address. That's BRADEN. And for the video replay, actually, I'm going to be sending this over to Brian at Keller Williams. And he, I believe, will be hosting it. I think we will be hosting it on our YouTube channel as well. But if you have any questions regarding anything specific like that, just shoot me an email and I can, at the very least, get you a link once it's up. Oh, I see. So there was a question about representing the developers in terms of agency law. And the question was in the context of soliciting them to use Proxio. Generally, we work directly with the developer to try to get them on the system. But if you bring them in, then we can put in we can establish a referral fee for you, assuming that they do, come through and use the system. We have a question about the number of visitors a month we're getting to the platform. I don't have an exact number, but it is well into the 5 figures. And as we have not released this to our entire network yet, it's still kind of in the initial launch sort of phase. That number is only going to go up. We're only going to get more and more traffic on here. So we do get quite a few visitors. We've generated many, many leads already, despite having it available only to a small-ish number of agents compared to our entire network. And who would you refer developers to for the new projects at Proxio? You'll want to send that information to Matthias, our account manager, and his email address is matthias@proxio.com, Matias. And we've got a few more questions here. What would the referral fee be for introducing developers to Proxio? That's another one that depends on the specific situation. So depending on how many projects they have, the nature of the projects they have, and that sort of thing, we'll have different referral fees. And that's something that you can work out with Matthias if you have any that you would like to refer to the system. And we have a question about getting the PDF. I'm not sure exactly about which PDF you're referring to. It's if you mean the user guide, you can email me, and I'll be able to send that over to you very soon. And if you mean any of the PDFs on the system, you'll want to jump into Developer Showcase and go to the Marketing tab on any development. If you mean the login PDF on how to log in as a KWGPS member, you can go to proxioworld.com/KWGPS, and there is a link just below the login button in case you're having trouble accessing the system, and it will walk you through the steps of getting in there. Oh, and I actually have a message from Brian here about where you'll be able to see the recording of this webinar. It'll be uploaded to the KWGPS community site in the past webinars section. So you'll be able to find that there in case you're not sure how to go about doing something or you need a refresher, whatever it may be. We have a question about who to contact with a referral, and it is Matthias@proxio.com. Matias is his email address at proxio.com. We have a question about whether or not this works well for small projects, and this works well for projects of any size. Just the more people that you have representing these developments, the faster you can sell units, and the more widely available the commissions will be. So it really is good for projects of any size. We have some questions about the user guide, and we will be sending that out to anybody that requests it, as well as Brian, and he'll be uploading that to the KWGPS community site as well, it sounds like. All right, we have a couple of questions about accessing Proxio in the first place. We have a question about having a previous subscription and then moving up to the Keller Williams GPS. It is an automatic transition. So if you had a lower level of membership and then moved up to the Keller Williams GPS subscription, then that will automatically bring all your information up to the premium level account that KWGPS members get with Proxio Pro. All right, and we have a question about accessing it. About accessing Proxio in the first place, you'll want to go to proxioworld.com/kwgps, and that will allow you to log in. And if you're having any trouble with that, we do have that instructional PDF there that you can get to. And it looks like we have somebody that's having trouble logging in as well. So if you still can't access the platform after going through the kind of how to log in PDF, and let me just show you really quick how you can get to that. We're going to go to proxioworld.com/kwgps, and we did get a brief view of that page in the slideshow there before the demonstration. But here we have the Login Now button. Just below that, we have the link to the PDF for having, in case you're having trouble logging in. So you can just click on that link where it says click here for instructions, and it will open up this for you. If it's still not working, then go ahead and shoot me an email, Braden@proxio.com, BRADEN, and I will be happy to take a look at your account and see what's going on and help you get in there. We have somebody that isn't part of KWGPS. You can still log in via Keller Williams, and if you're having trouble getting in, then just go ahead and shoot me an email, and I'll check out your account info and send that over to you so that you can get into the system. And once again, my email is Braden@proxio.com, BRADEN. All right, so we are out of questions for the time being. If you guys have any others, I'm going to stick around for another minute or two, and feel free to type them into the question box, and I will field them as they come in. But if that is it for you, that is the end of our demonstration and everything. So in case you have to run, thank you again for joining me today, and I hope you find some success with Developer Showcase very soon. Like I said, I'll be around for another minute or two, just in case there are any last-minute questions. And if any come up later, go ahead and email them to me, Braden@proxio.com. We have a question about the upgrade not having gone through just yet. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. If you could shoot me an email about that, I can take a closer look after the webinar here is over, and help you out with that. And the email to contact me is Braden@proxio.com, BRADEN. And we have a question about the login. Is it the same as Keller Williams GPS? I believe it is. If you're referring to the Keller Williams GPS community site, I'm not positive. I'm not familiar with the login credentials there. But you can find the way to log in right here on that PDF that I had mentioned. You go to proxioworld.com/kwgps, and you can click on the link just below the big Login Now button. And that'll bring you to the instructions for logging in as a KW agent. Oh, and actually I have confirmation here from Brian that you do access Proxio through the GPS community site. All right. So I've got about another minute or two here before I have to head off. So any last minute questions, go ahead and shoot. Otherwise, you can send them to me via email. Yes, we have a question about clarifying here. If you click on Login Now, it will take you to the login page. So it'll bring you right here to log in there. And if you need further instructions, there's a link just below that will take you to this PDF here that tells you how to access. All right. So I'm afraid I do have to sign off now. And like I said, if you have any other questions, please go ahead and email them to me at braden@proxio.com, Braden. I want to say thank you once again for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.